And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
Oh man, we've finally done it, guys. We've gone too far.
I'm surprised it was Shaun.
You know, that's why being friends with Shaun is such an adventure.
I've had that bottled up for so long. Good evening and welcome to Is It a Bicycle, Season 7, Episode 25, the original and bestest ever TV and movie podcast. My name is Stephen Wrigley and I'll be your host for this evening. Beside me we have a man who still asks, all lowercase, when getting an email address. It's Mike McDonough. Live from Vegas, we have a man who this week wrote an article called 12 Things That Will Make You Cry Because You're Emotionally Repressed and Have Been Waiting for an Excuse to Cry. It's Shaun, I love cans, Leonard. In the red corner, it's our cuddly killer, a man who pronounces testicles like it's the name of a Greek warrior. It's my superhero, Leonard. Way Homer. This week, we hope to discuss some movies in the shape of, or a movie in the shape of What We Do in the Shadows, and some TV in the form of The Librarian and Booze Traveller. We'll also have some news and some previews in Coming to Bicycle near you. How are we doing?
Fantastic, Steve.
Good.
Thank you.
Anything strange or startling?
Testicles.
Testicles. So, what you see this week? That's not on the list.
Well, I'd just like to call out Shaun on this and call him a prick.
Straight in there, yeah.
Yeah. Remember we were talking about Arrow?
Oh.
And I was giving out about how he keeps reminding me of it. And then during the week, I noticed Season 3, Episode 5, The Secret Origin of Felicity Smoke.
Yeah.
I had to watch it. And that means I'm back in.
Don't forget, we've got the Flash and Arrow crossover for their mid-season finales.
Fuck.
So you got to watch the Flash to catch up.
That's going to cost me about 20, 30 hours of my life. All because of Shaun Leonard.
Well spent, though, Mike. Well spent.
Hey, you're welcome. Happy Christmas.
I'm with you, Shaun. You've done him a great service.
I thought so. That's how I felt and always will.
Who watched Miracle on 14th Street?
114th Street or whatever the street is.
34th.
34th Street?
It could be that one. Could be.
Yeah. Might have been a different Christmas.
Yeah, I watched that. We put up our Christmas tree on Sunday. And we thought, seeing as that bad boy was up now. Actually, I might have to talk to you about the Christmas tree for a second. I bought a Christmas tree, right?
Right.
Christmas trees, a lot like people, you can't tell what's going on with them till you get them under the covers, right? So the Christmas tree I bought was wearing a giant fishnet sock, right? Oh. I've had dates that ended like this. Kinky. Got it to the house, pulled the stocking off it, right? And at that point I noticed that
it only had a few limbs.
No, it was a perfect tree, right? Yeah. It was a perfect tree in every way except
the tree,
its angle to the ground when standing on its base. So it was about, if you plugged it into the stand directly, no matter what kind of machinations you did, adjusting it, hammering things in to twist it one way or another, it was more or less 35 degrees off center, right? Both backwards and to the right, depending which way you had the tree angled. So, have you ever tried to cut through the wet base of a Christmas tree?
It's a bit sappy.
Oh my God, it took so long. Only for I went across the road and my very kind neighbour lent me
a Bushman's or something.
It was no, it's actually for cutting branches from trees, but it still took me an hour to cut through this bloody tree. And it was terrible. Now it's up now and it's fine, but like, to be honest, Miracle on the Street was a great salve for my sore arms and tired back.
That's a classic, all right, yeah.
It's a classic. It holds up pretty well, you know.
It does, yeah.
Except that you very quickly get reminded that American Horror Story guy must be really old because he was pretty young in that one. And that's like 30 years ago now.
Mike, did you murder a tree this week and put its corpse in your living room?
No, I have for several years been using a plastic one.
Oh yeah, nice one. Yeah,
because I really, really hate hoovering up the dead bits afterwards.
But it's a smell though. It smells like Christmas when you got a real tree.
That's true. Yeah.
See, I can get a spray that smells just like that, and I don't have to hoover it up either.
No, but you only think that it smells just like it. You cannot beat the real thing.
What was I going to say? Is anyone following Homeland?
Trying to catch up. I've been hearing great things about it.
Okay, I won't talk about it too much, so only to say that it gets better, and it's brilliant at the moment. It's really, really good. The last episode, 10, was excellent. Actually, 9 and 10 were excellent. So it's worth digging into if you've sort of been put off by the first couple of episodes, which are a bit like last season, actually.
It picks slow,
it picks
bit
up.
Slow.
It really picks up.
I think the lesson in the first couple of episodes of Homeland was that big women need loving too.
Yeah.
Which is not a lesson you'd expect to get from Homeland.
Yeah.
It teaches us in so many ways.
Yeah. I started watching this thing. I thought you'd like the name of it, Mark. It's called Fat and Furious. It's
Love it.
Yeah, it's about these car guys who take old classic American cars, do them up and sell them on for profit kind of thing. But it's hilarious. All of them are obese. Like really obese, like having trouble and needing help to get in and out of cars. Never mind, get under them and fix exhausts and stuff. It's hilarious. Yeah. But anyway, it's a serious show. Yeah, they've run a full season, I think now. Yeah. Anyway,
so they
take it seriously.
Yeah.
Are they finally going to get so fat they have to work on trucks instead? Or
I don't know, but actually, the work they do is really amazing. Yeah. It's fantastic. They're skilled guys, all right. Yeah. Shaun, did you see anything strange or startling this week?
Well, an elite group of hackers known as the Guardians of Peace managed to steal many, many, many terabytes of information from Sony Pictures.
Right, with that, we'll go to the news. Shaun, you want to elaborate?
Well, the Guardians of Peace, who are believed to be based in North Korea, basically went in and, however hacking works, just imagine that black screen with the green writing. So imagine hacking. And they went and they did that to Sony and took a bunch of their films, released them on torrent sites, like unreleased films as well as ones that were already out, released them on torrent sites. Also took a lot of Sony employees' information, like people's names, addresses, etc., which is pretty scary. And apparently, a few days after the breach, they realized that it was kind of coinciding with the release of the film The Interview, starring Seth Rogen and James Franco, which is about these two journalists trying to assassinate the supreme leader of North Korea, Kim Jong-un. So people believe that there's a possibility that this group taking that action was in part to scare them from releasing that film.
Did you, I believe they took some emails as well, and some of the contents got out recently where one exec was emailing another exec and calling Angelina Jolie minimally talented, spoiled brat.
Ouch!
Yeah. And there's a couple of other things where they were saying, will we do Cleopatra with her, or no? No, we won't.
There were some emails about a potential sequel to 22 Jump Street.
Oh, really?
Which would cross over with the Men in Black universe.
What?
Okay.
I swear to God, I was like, that's a really ridiculous idea. Like, I almost don't believe that. And I bet that there's going to be another email going, that's ridiculous. You shouldn't work out anywhere ever. But I swear to God, it looked like they wanted to greenlight it, which I really like those movies. Yeah. But I see no reason that you would make them Men in Black movies. It's just such a strange idea.
Yeah. Apparently, Adam Driver being cast in Star Wars was described as a terrible idea.
Oh, really?
It's just awful. Yeah.
Better than fucking Jar Jar Binks.
Apparently, in other emails looked at by the Wall Street Journal, said that Marvel was considering featuring Spider-Man in its upcoming Captain America sequel, and that Marvel and Sony would collaborate on a new Spider-Man trilogy. But the talks later broke down, with Sony going alone with character. Possible plans now include an animated adventure helmed by the creators of the Lego Movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that was my favorite or most interesting piece of information. Except now it just looks like something that will never happen, and now we know that, as opposed to the dream.
Oh, they might. Yeah. So the new Bond movie, Spectre, had a bit of a setback this week as well, in that 9 of their tricked out Bond cars were stolen in Dusseldorf in a bit of a heist of Bond proportions. Yeah. The police were quoted saying, "We've no idea where they are." Yeah, so so filming might be set back a bit. Did you hear about the Eye of Sauron in Moscow?
No, that sounds like big news.
Yeah, these artists wanted to stick it on the 21st floor of a skyscraper overlooking Moscow. But the Orthodox Church had a bit of a conniption, and so it's been cancelled because they said it would be a symbol of the triumph of evil.
Mm. They have a point.
There you go.
They do have a point, actually. That's a very reasonable complaint.
Yeah, the man in the sky would be angry. I believe...
Anyone catch the tweet from Irish MMA star Carl the Colossus Pendred?
No.
He tweeted that CM Punk was going to be one and done in the UFC and that he was that one.
Oh, really?
Mm. So it looks like if CM Punk does make his debut, he might be facing the Punisher.
Sounds like they're lining up for him, though, isn't it?
Everyone wants to fight him.
He's a big draw. So you fight him, all of a sudden people know your name.
Yeah.
One of the names that might be familiar to Is It a Bicycle listeners, given the interview I did with him at last year's Comic-Con, is former Green Ranger Jason David Frank, who is thus far unbeaten. He has an unbeaten record in MMA. He's been wanting to fight CM Punk for years. Like, he foresaw this happening. He knew CM Punk wanted to do this, and for months has been wanting to fight this guy. Yeah, I'd love it. I would watch that UFC. Sounds amazing.
Did you hear that one from Legally Blonde? The American actress was stabbed. Reese, what's her name?
Was she? Reese Witherspoon.
No, it was with a knife.
Oh!
I so win. He's disgusted. Anyway, moving on.
Look at the size of that fucking window.
Okay. So anyway, we were talking about Gods and Kings last week, about the whitewashing of. Christian Bale has come out in defense of Ridley Scott, saying the critics should get a life. It's pretty well put. No, but he also
Welsh
said,
guy defended the American guy.
But he said, to quote, "I don't think fingers should be pointed, but we should all look at ourselves and say, are we supporting wonderful actors in films by North African, Middle Eastern film makers and actors? Because there are some fantastic actors out there. If people start supporting those films more and more, these financiers in the market will follow. The audience has to show financiers that there will be there, and then they could have a large budget film." Kind of what I've been saying all along, really. Yeah.
I think that that's an interesting point, but to blame the market and being one of the people who controls it, or at least arguing on behalf of the people who control it, is a little bit circuitous.
Exactly. Yeah. Should be dictating, as they have been. Yeah.
That's what they do.
Yeah. Okay, let me see. So that's it. Yeah. Okay, so let's kick off. Let's go to the first of our TV. Mark, The Librarian.
The Librarian. So The Librarian is based on a made-for-TV movie of the same name. It stars Noah Wiley as... Shaun, I feel like you have a correction you'd like to throw in.
I'm really sorry. The Librarians... It's like the smallest thing in the world, but it was going to bug me the whole time.
I was just waiting for him.
So, The Librarian, there's only one. In the inaccurately titled TV show The Librarians, is based on the equally inaptly titled movie made for TV by Sci-Fi, The Librarians. It stars Noah Wiley, playing the eponymous character of the Librarian, who is the guardian of the remainder of magic left in the world. And he has madcap adventures every week, protecting various items of magic, many of whom he already possesses. And our audience proxy, I guess, is the hard-nosed FBI, Homeland Security... NATO chick lady who's tough, who decides to become his protector, sort of. And there's kind of a Harry Potter scene where she gets an envelope in through her chimney telling her to go for a job interview with this librarian. And it kind of goes from there. So then we are filled with the same wonderment as she is as she explores this giant TARDIS-like library.
What do you think, Mike?
Initially, I was like, fuck you guys. Because it was such a blatant rip-off of Warehouse 13. And
it was a bit
completely.
I was a big fan of Warehouse 13.
That
wasn't
and
it
Willy
before
Wonka.
Warehouse 13 that the original Librarian movie Quest for the Spirit came out?
Oh, good question.
As in, it did it first and better?
No. It may have come out first, but it was never better.
Well, excuse me.
I thought it was a mix of that and Willy Wonka.
And a little bit of Indiana Jones.
Yeah. There was. Yeah.
But yeah, as it kind of went on, I kind of put aside my virulent hatred and started to appreciate it for what it was. And I did kind of like it. Strangely enough.
Did you, Mike?
Yeah.
I have a question about this, and I was trying to frantically Google this before I came on. Uh-huh. What is the target demo for this show? Is it aimed to be young?
I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seemed
some
all
of
a
it's a
bit
bit
cutesy.
kiddie.
Yeah.
Like floaty swords that don't hurt anybody too badly and stuff.
It's a bit younger than Grimm, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. There was. What do they call it? YA? Is that it?
Young
adult.
Yeah.
But also, I think they were definitely trying to go, like, as opposed to 18 to 49, I think they were trying to go, like, I don't know, 11 to 49, probably.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay. 11-year-olds need TV too.
Yeah.
They do. I did.
No, but I do think it's aimed more, not even young adulty, maybe younger than that.
Like childlike humans.
Like, it's not far off Power Rangers, like some of the martial arts. Some of the martial arts that Noah Wiley did just really hurt me in my soul. And he'd throw this, what is not, like, no offense, Noah Wiley, I think he's quite a good actor, but Christ, he's not doing it in this show. He threw this kind of a one stage, which is essentially a soccer kick a bit higher than a ref might be comfortable with. And it just, whatever guy it didn't hit just fell over. That's so not real life. You know,
you didn't grow up watching Errol Flynn movies, did you?
In the face
with
a sword.
I thought Katie Sackhoff could have suited that part quite well. I thought.
I'm quietly confident she's going to show up in season 2.
You hoping? Yeah.
Are you talking about Rebecca Romijn?
Yeah.
Mystique.
Yeah.
I think she's gonna have quite a tragic end of season episode, and then Katie Sackhoff will take over in season 2.
I just don't know. Like, it's not going to happen.
No, if they were aiming it a bit older in the demographic, so it's a complete serial. Like, it's a procedural. There's going to be a bad guy of the week or an item of the week that they have to find.
Artifact, Mark.
Artifact.
And this week was Lindy Booth. They found her.
So
that was my highlight of the week, anyway.
every week they're going to have to go into their libraries and find clues, much like they used to do in Buffy and that. And then the librarians will solve the clues. Actually, they were trying to get a bit of the Da Vinci Code going. Like these ancient monuments that apparently nobody had discovered, but the grass was cut.
Or what was it called? Relic Finder. Relic
Hunter.
Yeah. Actually, there's a link.
That was a great show too.
Relic Hunters.
Relic Hunters. Yeah, I think Lindy Booth was also in that. How about that?
Imagine if you drill down on her name in IMDb.
Let's find out.
No, Mike, you drilled down on her, all right. Sorry.
I want it noted for the record. I did not say anything disparaging about her.
Oh, she was in Warehouse 13. That's where she did her work experience. No, she was in the 440. I'm sure she was in
4400.
Yeah, that's the one.
It was also good to see Angel alum.
I'm sorry, it was Relic Hunter singular.
I know.
Yep.
I was joking so that I could stop this torrent of abuse.
No, I'm not abusing you. I'm kind of making the same joke that Noah Wiley makes in the show again and again. He keeps going, there's only one librarian. He says it about 3 times in the show. And the show, as you aptly pointed out, Shaun, is entitled Librarians. It's a bit odd.
What do you guys think about the future of the show, given Noah Wiley won't be in it as much as he was in these 2 episodes?
I only watched 1 episode. Why wouldn't Noah Wiley be in it?
Well, you know how it was like a double-length premiere?
Yeah.
I only watched the first episode. I thought, wait. Are you becoming Steve?
I'm not. If they aired them back-to-back, so I watched them both.
No, not over here. They were separate over here in Ireland.
Okay. Well, they basically proceed on immediately. It might as well be a TV movie itself, these 2 episodes. But Noah Wiley, presumably because of the final season of Falling Skies, is only down for something like 60 or 70% of the episodes of this season, which I presume will change. Like, I presume once Falling Skies is over, he's just going to jump ship to this ship.
He's only down for 5 out of 9, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I have to say, since you did your interview with Noah Wiley, like, he's one of my favorite people.
Yeah.
I think we talked about it before in the unedited footage. Just before you started asking him the question, the camera's at an awkward angle, and it quite clearly shows that he is fucking knackered. He is wrecked tired. No interest in talking to anybody. And as soon as you ask him the question, he's like, "This guy's asking me the question. I'm going to give him the respect he deserves," and answers the question. And to the best of his ability, and he was just really nice, and I appreciated it so much. Like, compare that with that other guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't even get a name anymore.
You know who I'm talking about. Last Fight Chip guy. Eric Dane.
Yeah, that's also been renewed.
And Proper Order.
Oh, yeah. So that ship was one of the best. It's probably going to win the Bikey for best TV show, I think.
Oh, God, no.
It's up against Z Nation, you know.
It's going to be in the run.
Tough one, yeah.
I tell you.
Z Nation sounds like the nation of France. Z Nation.
What was your guys' favorite part of this? Because I actually enjoyed it as well, while noting how it wasn't great.
Yeah.
Specifically the fighting, as you've mentioned.
I thought Mike was being facetious when he said he enjoyed it. Was that not sarcastic, like the way you call, big people tiny?
No, I did actually kind of get into it towards the end.
And you were watching this the whole time?
Stranger things have happened.
Fuck yeah, like Steve, for example, watching a full season of Z Nation.
I liked the bit where they're in the hospital. Actually, he gets a bit, what do you call it? A bit Sherlock Holmesy as well, with his observational stuff. But then, as they're going in along with someone who's been injured or something on a stretcher, you could hear the doctors talking about what may be wrong and may not be, and then there's a girl like mopping the floor who actually nails it, and he's just like, "That's the one, that's her." I thought that was cool. Just that.
Yeah, that wasn't a bad bit actually. Yeah.
It actually made me think of something that's kind of become more prevalent lately with all the Sherlock Holmesy stuff. Is that really, really smart people? The key to it, obviously, is to be able to think outside your own head. You just have like a blackboard that you carry around in front of your eyes. It's kind of cheating, but I can see it.
Just get a hat with a big board on a stick.
And then we can all be geniuses.
Oh, like in Hannibal, you're comparing it to.
Right.
I thought the characters were introduced quite effectively and well.
Yeah.
They weren't like fleshed out as such, so for now they're kind of ciphers and plot devices, which is fine because it's very like action adventure. It seems to be what they want to hit in this first episode. But it you can see already how each character relates to every other one. When you have a thief and a person who's a military NATO counterterrorism person, you can see the stories that can come out of that. When you have a rough and tumble brawler played by Christian Kane of Angel fame, and he's like being all, "Oh, Missy, do," and there's a lady on the team or two. You just know he's gonna try and do kisses. Whoa, what'll happen? And one of them has a fucking tumor and is gonna die. So I thought for character introductions, they didn't do those half bad. So I thought that was achieved quite well. But I'm wondering if this could be a show I could watch without getting incredibly bored with it. You know what I mean? Like, I could maybe watch this 4 times before I just start to go, so we're done, right? We're done with this. You fixed
I don't
everything.
think you'd be able to, Shaun. I think because it's aimed at such a young audience, and we are, apart from Mike, we're not that audience. Reverse age joke for Mike there, just to shake things up a little. I think it will get a bit repetitive over time. My main problem with this, and I know this may surprise you, but Noah Wiley was one of my biggest problems. Like, his character was a bit slapstick and just completely stereotypical, and he was overacting the hell out of it by design. And that's when I went, right, this is for kids. He is just really over egging this pudding so that the kids will laugh and think, "Oh, that funny old librarians."
That's where I sort of saw the comparison, with Willy Wonka. All right, he's just this madcap, Mad Hatter kind of guy. I'm just so mad. I don't know what I'm going to come out with next.
Well, that's exactly the point. Anything could happen.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause I was sitting there in two minds, and then they brought in ninjas. Where did that come from?
Yeah,
And then
no reason whatsoever.
then I realized this is going to be a classic series. Yeah.
But didn't they say, like, a minute beforehand, one of the characters goes, "Are we talking about ninjas or something like that?"
No, it was Noah Wiley's character. Rebecca Romijn was like, "What am I going to protect him from there?" And he's like, "I don't know. Ninjas?" She goes, "Ninjas in Ohio," and then cut to Ohio. And what's going to attack what? Ninjas, everyone.
Yeah.
I like how the ninjas were hit by two bar stools at the same time. Mm-hmm. So even though two of them were hit, all six of the ninjas behind those two ninjas fell over.
Yeah, you know what they need
that's
is,
kind of a ninja rule.
Yeah.
Michael Dudikoff needs to be one of those ninjas. Bring back the American Ninja, dude.
Oh, man. Season finale. He takes off his mask and it's fucking Michael Dudikoff.
I swear to God, I genuinely enjoyed this show, right? But it is really problematic. I mean, whatever about big acting, okay? I enjoyed that character, you know what I mean? Like, I did like that he could say, you know, zany shit and it would probably, you know, work out. Even though they put, at least in what I watched, they put a lot of pressure on, you know, there might be consequences to this.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't. I think that we do this sometimes, and I always hate myself whenever I stoop to this level. But like, for what it is, I think it's really good. But I don't think it's good.
I'll tell you another thing. I'm going to just put this out there as my season prediction. The Colonel bodyguard is going to find out near the end of the season that she is actually an android.
Like a Cylon.
Yeah, synthetic.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I think you're mixing science fiction and fantasy, Michael.
This is the kind of show where this could happen.
This is the kind of show where anything like that could fucking happen. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I'm thinking it's filler. It was fine. It's just. It's not for me. It's it's a bit too silly. It was nearly there, but it's a bit too silly. And yeah, it was fine to watch once. I'm not going to watch any more of it. So far.
Yeah, so you've recovered from that operation where you got your imagination removed, yeah?
I can't believe Mike is the one making.
I know, yeah.
Defending this show. This is ridiculous.
You can never tell. You can never tell with him, Shaun. That's why it's such an adventure being friends with Mike.
So I'm just going to come straight out and say it. I like this show.
Wow.
Thriller.
Wow. Okay.
Go team.
So we have to decide this potentially based on whether or not we're going to watch more of it. So I'm going to give it a thriller because 12-year-old Shaun would watch this forever.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you get me paused there, Shaun. Like, I definitely thought this was too childish for me to enjoy. I agree with you that, you know, for what it is, it's pretty good. But I don't think that I'm gonna stick to the standard criteria, right? It's filler because I'm never gonna watch it again. But it's not bad. Like, if you want to watch something with your kids and you don't want to hate yourself, that might be the way to go.
But you watch so much bad stuff.
Let's not get into this.
You could throw that statement at any of us, Mike. We all have our guilty pleasures.
One thing that I like about this show is that now there's like a pathway from like whatever years old all the way up to whatever age Mike is for shows like this. Because now, no, but seriously, because now you can go, right, well, I'll watch Librarians. And then, you know, getting into the terrible teens, I think it's time for Warehouse 13. You know, let's get a bit of a town called Eureka in this mix. Mm-hmm. You know, what am I? I'm 18 or 20. Hey, Supernatural. There's a lot of that I could watch. And then you get older and hate everything. So I think that's pretty nice stairway.
Okay, so next up we've got our movie, which is What We Do in the Shadows, which is directed by Taika. Taika? Is it Taika? Did I get that right?
I'm not from New Zealand.
It's probably Taika in New Zealand.
Taika Waititi and Jermaine Clement, who we know from Flight of Conchords. They've co-written, co-directed, and co-star in this, which is about 4 flatmates who happen to be vampires who are struggling to get along in the modern era. And luckily, they have a new addition to their circle of friends who is a young vampire, and he starts to show them the ways of the modern world. And goes from there. Encounter.
Where'd you find this, Steve?
Where'd I find this? This has been building up for a good while, actually. It's debuted here at Cork Film Festival. It's been doing the rounds of the festival, and now it's been in the cinema actually since the end of November on general release. So yeah, sort of known about it for a while.
So you've been looking forward to it for a while.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Like 5 minutes in, I was going, "This has Steve written all over it. This is just right up your street."
Well, you know what? 5 minutes in, actually 15 minutes in, I was sort of going, don't know about this.
That's interesting.
Weird.
That's
Yeah.
interesting
That's weird.
because 15 minutes in, I was going, "This is so Steve speed," but I'm really enjoying this.
Because
I, as soon as I heard the Antipodean accents and the Antipodean humor that you guys love from Flight of the Conchords and all the rest, I literally folded my arms and got ready to start hating it. And then it just wouldn't happen. I was sitting there waiting for the venom to start dripping, and it just didn't happen. And I started lolling, and then I just decided that I really wanted to know what happened to these complete idiots as the film wore on. And I was glued to it. So I have to say, I really, very surprisingly, and I doubt you would have predicted this.
no.
Which is why it's such an adventure being friends with me. But I really did enjoy it. I thought it was very, very funny. I thought the characters, their timing was epic.
Yeah, and that's you see, I think it was all the intro stuff that I was sort of like, okay, come on, we'll get to the meat of the story, and then we got 20 minutes in, and I was like, okay, this is it. This is what I've been waiting for, you know. And then the rest of the movie was pretty much what I'd been hoping for. It was very, very witty. It was a lot of fun. Some great lines in it. No, you go ahead. I'm doing my evil bidding online or something like that. Oh yeah, what are you bidding on? I'm bidding on the table. You know, that was just so brilliant. Yeah.
I think the genius of this whole movie, like the mockumentary thing, has been done to death.
Yeah.
Haha. But when it's vampires, they just managed to find it perfect ways to make it not only important to how the story was told or what the story was, and just to make it really relevant. And everything was funnier. Like when it was in this really banal, just sitting, talking to the camera. But, there's this one bit where, why do vampires like virgins so much? And it goes to Jermaine Clement, and he's just like, think of it like a sandwich. You're more likely to eat it if no one has had sex with it. It was that's amazing. That sounds, because it's like water cooler conversation.
Yeah.
It's literally just I never really thought about it.
Yeah. No, they're very good at drawing you into their bizarre world. And kind of having you going, that's so funny, and it makes sense. We could easily sit here and give away joke after joke because there's so many. Yeah. I don't think there was a minute went by that they didn't come out with a really great line or a good joke.
What was your favourite bit? How about we cut it?
My favourite bit?
Yeah.
Mate, we're werewolves, not swearwolves.
I think I liked this movie throughout and a lot, but what I did expect was to laugh, but I didn't really expect to believe it or give a shit about the characters and what would happen. But the rules that they gave you pretty much for vampire, very similar to the ones we usually know, but with all of the trappings of, this is awkward, that's frustrating. And I completely bought into it. I was like, yeah, it's kind of shit no matter what you are, a vampire, a person. Everything's tough. Mm-hmm. And then I really wanted them to succeed at their very, very low, almost non-existent goals. I really wanted them to succeede, even though they weren't trying to do much, because it was just another day in thousands of years.
It was great to see Rhys Darby, actually. Yeah, he's the leader of the werewolves.
Yeah. Mary,
yeah. Prisoned. Yeah, he's just got such a funny face in him, really. What do you think of this, Mike?
Well, I started off positively because I love the Flight of the Conchords, and I also was thinking about how much Mark wouldn't be enjoying it. But then the first 10-15 minutes, I was kind of, it's a bit forced.
Yeah.
I'm not buying it. But then it just started to kind of unravel a little bit. It was kind of uptight to begin with.
Yeah.
But then just strange bullshit started happening. And then I started to giggle, and then the giggles kind of came on.
Yeah.
But I think, looking back on it, I think the reason for that is it's the supporting characters that made this movie for me. Like, one of the lads has a familiar. And
Yeah.
and she is just a genius character. I absolutely
Jackie.
love what she did. And the werewolves, as you say, some of the best werewolves I've seen in a long time. So I thought they were actually stronger than the leads. And so much so that they actually made me forget about how I was kind of feeling awkward about the leads to finally get over it and enjoy what they were doing as well.
Yeah.
So I think the movie wouldn't have actually worked without the support.
So the secondary stories
Were better.
worked. Okay, yeah.
What did you guys think? Oh, sorry, Mike.
Sorry, I was just going to say Jermaine, he's such a weird looking person.
He's got a character-full face, is that what you mean? Yeah.
Go on.
What did you guys? Sorry. I was just going to ask what you thought about the levels of violence.
You know, I there was a lot, but I didn't really notice it. You know, it's kind of
it
laughing
was
too
like
much.
Team American
Yeah,
violence.
it was just so funny.
Well, at the start, there's one vampire. He's the last that we're introduced to in the opening, which I thought was a really good cold open.
Yeah.
There was some forced hesitation, which I wonder if that was because when you are being filmed by a documentary crew, it is forced for at least a while. But I liked the actual initial sequence with the roommate meeting when they go down to Peter, who is the oldest of the group. I was genuinely like, oh, okay. I had a jump like at one moment there, and then things really got going around the 20-minute mark, which you guys all seem to be like have focused on a little bit, which I think is when they actually show you some horrible vampire shit for the first time. I think it all coincides with that, which is horrifically violent while being very funny, but it's also just like, yes, that's comic violence, but then there's also a thing where you're like, oh, well, that's sad for that person, isn't it? That's a bit,
Yeah.
it's sad, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's exactly how I think spoiled people would react to things like undeath or whatever it is, you know, like, because at a certain point you're going to be bored of no matter what it is.
Yeah.
And also, champion of the movie, MVP, whoever it was that played Stu, champion.
Yeah, it was really good, actually. What was his name? Stuart Rutherford.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very good. So, have you anything else you want to say about this? Oh, you know what I'd like to, actually, what I want to say was the effects. I know they're basic, but I thought they worked really well. The guys, up the walls, flying, all that kind of stuff. I thought that was really good.
They were so crap they worked.
Yeah, I know, exactly. You just sort of, you gave them the benefit of, it's wires. Yeah, we do. I can see just by the angle, but it works, Or the guy falling down the stairs, I thought it was hilarious. There's, he's just a guy running through the corridor. He falls down the stairs, but it was such a good fall down the stairs because it's all done in one shot. It was brilliant. He went all the way down, around the corner and back down again. It was excellent. So anyway, yeah.
It's quite amazing that this movie worked. It comes so close to being utterly shite on so many occasions, but it just somehow manages to find the right way to handle it.
Yeah.
I mean, the budget must be tiny.
Yeah.
They probably made this for $100,
A tenner, I'd say.
Those are shitty New Zealand dollars, like.
Do you have a thing against New Zealand?
I'd like to remind the people of New Zealand at this time that we have nothing against you.
Anything that's
Mike's
west of the
views-
Shannon, which is actually here as well, if you go far enough. But anyway.
Mike's views always, and particularly in relation to our Antipodean friends, do not represent the views of Visit a Bicycle.
No, they're all his own.
I just resent their abuse of the vowel system in the language.
I'm actually from New Zealand, really, listeners. I think they're going to buy that. I think we're fine.
Yeah, I think so.
Do you want to mark this, Mike?
No, I'll let you guys talk.
No. I want to know what yours fucking
you
is.
guys.
I want to see how much higher the rest of ours are. Because you just lowball shit all the fucking time, even if you like it, and even if you think it's good.
He's bitching you out.
What's he drinking? What is that he's drinking?
Come on now.
Crazy juice, Mike.
I was thinking 7-ish, but the more I think about it, it's probably better than most of the things I give a 7 to. So I'm going to just scrape it over the line into 8 territory.
Okay. Well done.
Well done, Mike. I think that was a good, accurate, and honest mark. In fact, I agree with you. I'm also giving it an 8.
Mark.
Star for originality.
Oh, God, lads, I don't know. I think we're all drinking the crazy juice a bit. An 8 for this, really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's be critics, right? We're critics.
Yeah.
Right.
Look back over the list of 7s you've given out this year.
Yeah, but this film is no Edge of Tomorrow, like.
It's a completely different
what I mean?
That's
type
right.
of thing as well. It's original.
Like, well, there's 2 things that this film is missing straight away: a time loop and Tom Cruise. I really enjoyed it. It's very funny. I will probably tell my friends about these jokes again and again.
Or even
And
use
that's
them
a
for
sign
yourself.
of a really good comedy.
Yeah.
And if someone I knew was watching it, I would want to watch it with them. Because you'd laugh again at the jokes through someone else. I'm kind of talking myself that you might be right.
Keep talking, Mark. Keep talking.
Hang on. How many other comedies have we seen this year?
Well, a good few.
Oh, we've seen the Lego Movie and
Two Night Stand.
Two Night Stand. It's a different, it's kind of different kind of comedy, though.
How many comedies have we actually laughed at this year?
The Lego Movie.
Lego Movie.
Two Night
Two Night
Stand.
Stand.
It's a pretty short list.
Well, that's because you're putting me on the spot. I'm going to Googleize all the movies that with the spreadsheet. I'm not going to go bust my ass trying to compare this. I've already given it a fucking mark. It shouldn't be this difficult. It should be easier than this.
Go on, Shaun. Just storm out.
Jump Street. That was another comedy that we saw.
Dumb and Dumber. We saw that as well.
It was definitely funnier than To Be Decay.
Mike Tyson Mysteries. That's about it.
It was probably funnier than The Babadook.
Yeah.
And 12 Years a Slave.
Yeah.
Right, look at. I've decided.
Right.
I've decided. It's a 7 for me.
Okay.
A 7 is a really high mark, and I think it's a great film, and I will recommend it to other people. But it's like, you know, I didn't carry away anything deep and meaningful from this. It's not going to make me a better person or a worse person. It's not going to make me cry. It's not going to make me fall in love all over again. It just gave me a few giggles that I share with my friends. So it's a 7.
See, we also saw Sharknado 2 this year. That was a comedy, wasn't it? Yeah. Anyway, no, I was just going to say, Mark, it's funny. I bet if you came back next year, you'd probably give it an 8 because you'd have been thinking about it and laughing about it all week.
And told all his friends about it.
It's one of those, like
Yeah.
the second time I watched Anchorman,
Yeah.
I nearly died. The first time I wasn't all that impressed with it, but the second time I was going, oh yeah, that bit totally happened. I think this film will be like that as well.
Yeah. I'm going to give this an 8. I agree with the lads. Yeah. I think it's great. And actually, I see it gets 8 on IMDb and 93 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Wow. Is that critics or users?
Both. In fact.
I'm surprised over a large sample it's that high. Because, like, it is
Really?
funny, but I don't think it's everybody's taste.
But everyone knows vampires, right? And you either love them or you're fucking sick of them at this point. And this
Yeah.
movie works for both of those groups.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's taking the piss out of something that everyone is aware of, no matter where you're from. You've seen all this shit.
Yeah.
And they're taking the piss out of it. And they're from New Zealand. So it's not like they're taking the piss out of a specific type of vampire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just think that it works as a quirky, original comedy.
And we don't get enough of them.
It's definitely fresh. Give it that, all right. Okay, so that brings us around to the last of our TV, which is Booze Traveler. Shaun,
Where'd you find this one?
this it's sort of. I was expecting, but it's not by Mike.
It was me. I was actually. This was recommended to me by my screenwriting professor, who just actually literally laughed in front of us talking about what the show was. So Booze Traveler is about actor from Boston, Jack Maxwell, who you may remember from Born to Ride, Irene in Time, and Saving Ryan's Privates. And Jack Maxwell basically just goes. It's a travel show where he goes to a place in the world and gets drunk there, and it kind of treads the line between a good night out and trying to learn and inform people about the specific country or place that he's in. So the first episode, which we all watched, takes us to Turkey and shows us how in that predominantly Muslim country, who's had prohibition laws back and forth for many, many years, how alcohol can mean more than just a good time. And that's our first episode.
Excellent synopsis, Shaun.
So what you think, Mark?
This show made me thirsty and hungry. And if a show is about food and drink, that's exactly what it should do. So I think it achieved that very well. I had a couple issues with Jack himself. He seemed a bit too slimy American, and there was times during it when I thought he was a little bit insincere and acting, right? And that could be, if I watched a couple more episodes, that perception might change, right? He's basically doing what a lot of people I know do. They go on holidays in other countries and they try and find weird stuff to eat and drink, like good stuff to eat and drink, not just like I'm a celebrity challenges.
They get in the culture and stuff.
Yeah, but a specific aspect of that culture, you know, because there's a hell of a lot of Turkish culture he didn't go near. Like, I thought one thing. That's another thing though. He did get a very good flavor for the country in the program. Like, I'm not a documentarian or a person who watches them, and I thought that he was giving me enough information that I felt like I was learning something, but he didn't detract from the fun he was having.
Yeah.
By, you know, making it too dense.
Yeah.
So I thought it was good. It was a good episode. No, it's not the kind of TV I watch. If I wasn't reviewing it for the show, I would never turn on something like this. But that aside, you know, I quite enjoyed it. The time flew by while I was watching it.
Yeah. He was pretty good. All right. I know what you mean by a little bit slimy at parts, but you know, it casts a very good light on Turkey, and you know, I'd be more inclined to go there now than I would have been before I watched this. I've had a different vision in my head of Turkey for a long time, but you know, it looks like a more interesting place than I'd imagined, I guess. I guess the media doesn't help there, but
yeah, you thought they were just all sitting around not drinking.
No, I know a few people who lived there, but yeah, that was part of it, I think. Yeah.
I think that slimy American is a really interesting phrase, because if the people around you are more sincere about the thing that you're just like visiting to talk about, people can tell that, whether it's the people you're talking to or the people watching you do it.
Yeah.
And that could start to make you go, all right, this is a bit awkward. Like, that does seem really interesting, but he doesn't give a shit.
It's not necessarily that he's American. He's just, you know.
It's not. Yeah. Well, it's not, but also I think that if he was from other places, we would call it a different thing. Like, there is a difference between, I don't know, someone from England,
just call
a country famed for its colonization and going to do that, and an American, and like American culture now, and how Americans look in the rest of the world, or at least their perception. So I think that is a factor. But I thought it was interesting the way he kept drawing it back to America. Like, at one point he says this thing where he's describing, I think, a street or a pub, and he just goes, blue collar grit. And he just lists a couple of things, blue collar grit and blah, blah, blah. Oh, well, if Southie, like Boston, if Southie had its very own name of place, I think it'd be a lot like this. And I'm like, well, what does that matter? Like, that, it already exists. You're there. Like, just go hang out. It seems fun. I thought that was really interesting. I actually the one thing that I would say is this show is better and worse because of him. Like, it's going to live and die by the host. And seeing him stumble around a bit, like, stupid/drunkenly sometimes is class. I love that they followed him into, like, the late night drunk food. Like, at the end of the show, they actually were like, we're just going to show you him a bit worse for wear, like, kind of staring off into the distance. Because I was like, class. This is what I would actually want to know. Like, I would ask a local this question: where do I go to get whatever kebab at like X, Y, and Z?
Yeah.
And if you can manage to inform me while having a great time, well, fuck it, we all want that job, don't we?
What I was most impressed with was the diversity of cultures within a culture that he managed to visit and inform us on. Like he got to the guy who's selling the alcohol out of a tub off his back on the street. And does it every day, and everyone knows his call, and that's your man with the stuff, and they go down and get it. They did the soccer clubs, the guys that go out and sing on Saturdays.
Hooligan.
The soccer revolutionaries.
The greatest, the revolutionaries that protest about everything. And he also got out to the fishermen out, and out a bit from Istanbul. I'm glad he got out of Istanbul, so he saw a bit more of the country. And their sort of, culture as well. So there's more as well, obviously, throughout the episode. But no, it was just good to see the diversity instead of just like.
And he actually went over and looked at an expat who was forming a brew pub culture over there.
Yeah.
Like genuinely interesting stories about people. Like when you're doing any kind of documentary, you need those, or it's just going to be kind of a masturbatory walk around and pointing at pretty things.
Another thing too is if my next holiday, if I know that he's covered that place, I'll watch that episode. Yeah. Which is a really strong recommendation for a show, but it's a bit documentary, it's a bit travel program.
Yeah.
And I think that they do both, for someone like me that, isn't generally interested in learning when he watches TV, that's pretty good. Unless it's about like how fast debris rotates around the earth.
But it's great for a travel program, it's very informative, but still you don't have, 7 nights in this apartment, a 2-bed apartment will cost you,
Flights not included.
Yeah.
Flights not included. Mike, what did you think of this?
Yeah, I mean, you've covered most of what I thought of it. I did like the variety that he brought into it. I didn't find him as offensive as maybe as some of the rest of you did.
You're kidding. No, you're kidding.
No, I didn't find him offensive, Mike. He didn't come across as 100% sincere all the time. I didn't hate him.
Yeah. I would have expected him to get a little bit more drunk for a program about getting drunk. Maybe
you can't blow your wad in a pilot, though.
Well, yeah. He might build up as the series goes on.
Like man versus food,
Well, that was my next point. Where I think it failed is, or maybe it's a personal failure on my part, is when I watch Man versus Food, I'm positively drooling by the end of it, and barely able to control my hunger. Whereas I managed to successfully watch this without having a drink. I must have waited 5 or 10 minutes till the end of the show before I had a drink.
Wait, no. We need to like that. I think what you call drinking is probably different from regular folk. Like, so did you mean like you stayed drinking the can you'd open and didn't have like a whiskey with it?
Well, I didn't put the whiskey in the can, which I would normally do.
There you go.
So it just, I think maybe my drinking problem isn't as severe as I thought it would be. So I need to work on that. Yeah, or else he needs to do a better job of making me want to drink. Yeah, I don't know which it is.
So one thing about this show that I was wondering about, because this is definitely influenced by my own silly preconceptions about places, etc. But I was kind of wondering if, especially when one of the first things it shows us is a bunch of football people 7 hours before match getting ready to go. And there was kind of this air of, is shit going to kick off? Especially because at one point, the team for that place is 1-0 down. And you hear the narration is Jack Maxwell literally just going, I wouldn't like to be here if they lose. And I'm like, no, fuck, that sounds shit though. So seriously, because this happens everywhere in the world. And it looks like it could definitely happen right now. And even when it's a draw at the end and Jack Maxwell is taking a selfie or a picture or something, whatever, the cameraman who's focused on him catches and fair play to him, pivots. Someone throws a fireball. Someone has a lit thing and they throw it through the crowd. And I go, holy shit, is it actually going to kick off? Because I swear to God, I was wondering, like, was there going to be some trouble with the law or whatever? Especially given the laws, they were like very specific ones about drinking. And I wonder if it's obviously because, I'm a terrible human being who wants to see conflict. But I wonder if I would like it better if that kind of stuff happens. Like if he goes to more and more like, this is where all the criminals drink, and now I'm going to go see what's going to happen. You know what I mean? Do you think we should see the shit kick off, or should they try and do that? That's not documentary, but it sounds like booze traveling.
No, I think that you need to watch Ross Kemp.
Yeah, I was actually comparing it to Ross Kemp in my head. But I mean a party with violence, as opposed to the seriousness of violence.
Fun violence.
Yeah, a good humoured kicking.
That was one thing I was looking for.
So, Shaun, will you watch more of this?
If I'm going anywhere that Jack Maxwell is covered, I think Mark's totally right.
Yeah.
I'm going to send this to a mate of mine who's going to Turkey. Like, I'm literally going to go, watch this will be interesting.
Yeah.
And I think I have to call it a thriller based just on that.
Okay. Mike?
I'm kind of on the fence. It wasn't a bad show, but I don't think I enjoyed it that much that I'd watch more of it, or at least go out of my way to watch it.
Would you watch it if it covered a country that you're interested in?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I suppose I'd have to see the lineup of countries he's going to.
Yeah.
Yeah. With that said, I'll give it a very strong filler.
Okay.
Strong filler, eh?
Yeah. I saw.
It's almost a mixer.
I saw one in the promo or in the intro, I can't remember which, that he does make it to Japan, and I do want to see that one. But I found it interesting anyway. I might series link this, and keep an eye on it, let's say. Might not watch all of them, but yeah, so it's thriller for me, obviously. So, Mark?
I seem to be very fancy tonight. I liked this episode. I would never normally watch it. So I'm going to go back to being me. And I'm not going to watch any more of it. But if I was into this kind of show, travel program, I probably would like. So, I don't know.
So what you're saying, it's not a bad show, but not one that you'll watch more of.
When you saying it's a good show that you won't watch more of.
A good show.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's a good show. I probably won't watch it again. I'm just looking up where he's been. He's been to Peru, Spain, Austria so far this season.
It seems like you're looking for an excuse to give it thriller and break your strange rule you made up that doesn't make sense.
No, the way we usually do it is if you're going to watch more, it's thriller.
The way you usually do it.
And if you're not, it's filler. I think it's thriller, Steve. I think it's a thriller for me.
That's a pretty reluctant fucking thriller.
I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm just not very decisive tonight.
Okay. So yeah, I guess we approve. So next up we have some previews and coming to Bicycle near you. So the first one is Terminator.
Holy shit.
Whoa.
Genesis. So, go on.
Holy shit. So it turns out, right, the best way to reboot a franchise is to mess with the timeline. We saw that in the reboot of Star Trek, and it seems to be happening in Terminator. So the trailer starts off, which shows us the opening scenes the scene that led to the opening of the original Terminator film, where Kyle Reese is being sent back in time to protect Sarah Connor. Only when he gets there, it turns out time has been changed, right? And Biff is somehow in charge now because he got the sports almanac. Oh, sorry, wrong film. So it turns out that Sarah Connor has already disposed of the original Terminator and is now ready to save him from a T-1000 that somehow made it back to this time. So, and it goes on from there to feature 3 different versions of Arnold Schwarzenegger: CGI 1980s Arnie, Botoxed 1990s Arnie, and modern day, about to fall apart at any minute Arnie. And it looks shamazing.
Like Star Wars trailer last week, it does kind of hark back to the first Terminator. In more ways than one.
And they did kind of go off track in the later movies.
They did.
So it's nice to see them coming back to it.
Yeah.
And I mean, putting 3 Arnies in one fucking film, I mean, genius.
I'm sold. I'm completely sold.
And a motorcycle. Yeah.
What was the one? Was it the 7th day, 6th day, where there was more than one Arnie?
Yes, the 6th day. We have a 6th day violation. Yeah, where they cloned Arnie.
Yeah. That one didn't go far enough. You need 3.
I I liked the look of this trailer, even though it didn't really show us that much beyond, don't worry, you'll get the action scenes that you're looking for, and also a Terminator, a T-1001, will go all liquidy and chase the people that you will eventually care about. So I'm in, definitely. Like, I'll watch that in the movies, no bother. But the explanation for why Arnie is older, like why the Arnie Terminator is older, is making me wonder how much bullshit backstory we're going to have to suffer through with Arnie of 1980s aging slowly as he protects Sarah Connor through time.
I'd say they'll dispense with those formalities.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, they'll just give us a gunfight and then he's old.
You know, there was a big furor when they released the press release of this when it came out, and I had like plot synopsis and stuff. Yeah, because the one fact everyone looked at was Sarah Connor raised by Terminator since like blank blank rest of the movie thing, and they went, "What the fuck are you talking about? Raised by a Terminator? That sounds like bullshit." And all they needed to do was go, "Don't mention it. Will be like he's older because he came back earlier, as opposed to he goes back and he like raises her, he protects her, keeps her safe." Like, we see really fucking old Arnie's in this, and that's a fine explanation. But I don't want to see any of that Terminator 2, John Connor and Arnie, like, father-son relationship. I don't want to see any of that, because I don't think that's going to fly in the movie that they're making.
Note to self, I don't need to see that.
Yeah, I think it looks great. I can't wait.
I have an issue.
Yeah.
Oh, you saw that meme from Arnie, yeah?
No.
Meme?
No?
The video.
Sorry, Mimi.
No, it wasn't a meme. You mean the video?
Yeah, where he tapped out. Dum-dum-dum-dum-dum.
No, I didn't see that.
That was funny.
Oh, very good.
Yeah. So my issue is Emilia Clarke
Yeah.
and needs to be impregnated in this movie by Jal Courtney. And it looks very much like a bit of cradle snatching.
Felicia won't like that.
And I'm uncomfortable with it.
She's a jealous woman.
As in, do you mean like the actors look a certain age?
Yes.
I don't know how old they actually are, but I'm going to just take whatever ages the movie tells me there and not worry about it too much. Also, maybe she won't get preggers. Maybe that'll be the cliffhanger for this one. Oh, Kyle Reese is dead. Or he pulled out. Or double times. Or she's on the rag. That's 4 endings to that movie right there. Terminator Genesis. Get it? What if it's like no Genesis? What if it's like infertility can happen because of cell phones?
Oh man, we've finally done it, guys. We've gone too far.
I'm surprised it was Shaun.
That's why being friends with Shaun is such an adventure.
He's had that bottled up for so long.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's that one. So what's next? Nightmare Box. Mike, what's this about?
I don't know. I didn't put
Who
it
put
on
this
the list.
on?
It wasn't me.
Who put
I
the
don't know what
Nightmare
you're
Box
talking
on?
about.
It's a girl.
Funny story, guys. Funny story.
No way. It was you.
I put a bunch of films up there that I thought looked semi-related and bad. But where the story gets funny is then I ran out of time and didn't watch them.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say.
I did watch them, and I found the links that you didn't put in. Thank you very much.
You're a dinger, Mike.
Yeah. The Nightmare Box is a girl who wakes up in a room and doesn't know who she is or how she got there, and then lots of scary things start flying around in her head and outside her head.
Yeah.
And she's quite intimidated and confused.
Or what Mike calls his date from Saturday night.
Strange
When
thing
did
is
that out, Mike?
the trailer came out 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, 2012. So really looking forward to that.
But it's only been released or finished in April this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's a hell of a lot of editing going
That's
on.
a slow burning.
Yeah. Did you see this, Shaun?
No, I didn't watch it.
Okay.
It was called Nightmare Box.
Yeah. I'm with you. And then we had the Vatican Exorcist. That's out on DVD since 2013. So I stuck in Mad Max Fury Road, the actual trailer, rather than the Comic-Con preview.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet.
Maybe not.
No.
Am I the only one who's seen this? Oh, no.
No,
Shaun,
I've seen it. I went and watched it immediately.
Yeah.
It blew up the internet. People love it.
It's great. It's only out today, I think. Yeah.
I
Thanks for
could not believe Nicholas Hoult was in this movie. Nicholas Hoult of X-Men Days of Future Past, where he played Beast, of fucking Skins, way back when, About a Boy, even more, way back when.
Oh, yeah.
He's the skull-faced guy driving one of the cars.
Yeah, when I saw his name come up, I was like, really?
Yeah. That was, and everyone does that. Like, Tom Hardy is the only one who even looks a little bit like Tom Hardy. Charlize Theron, I'm like, nah, I don't even really recognize you. And I'm excited to see a movie that you're in. And that's rare for me with Charlize. But it looks like there's some serious vehicular madness that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, to the max, one could even say.
Is it going to be in Australia again? Or have they relocated it?
I think now, instead of going, well, the only place in the world where everything could go to shit this significantly is Australia, instead of saying that, because that would be weird, they're just going, no, everywhere in the world is going to run out of water and gasoline really soon, which is funny because it's true. So I think it could just be everywhere. They might do the whole global thing. As long as they don't make it so that Mad Max, if that is his real name, is going to have to save the world, then I think this will be class. Just make it a really simple thing, because we don't know the plot at all. All we know is the trappings, the scene, you know?
Yeah.
I just don't want him to save the world. Just go, there's a thing, and you should go get it. And then just need to do that with a time limit. And then I'll fucking watch it. That sounds class. Don't ever stop driving the cars, at any point. Mad, like Mad Max. So what's the deal with this in relation to the original Mad Max, which I've never seen? Does it look similar?
Very.
You haven't seen what the fuck is wrong with you, Shaun?
Yeah, Shaun, this is these are one of these movies that you do need to see. I'd watch the first and second one. I'd kind of avoid the third one, which is the one with Tina Turner in it. But the first two, especially the first one, then you'll definitely watch the second one. But
didn't they remake it for me though?
No.
I feel like they remade it for me with Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron. Charlize Theron. I think that's why they made it for me, right?
I'm not sure where in the timeline this sits. I think it's after.
Yeah.
Is it a reboot or a sequel?
I think it's a sequel. I'm not sure.
I would go the other way. I would say it's just a fucking reboot. No one, I think everyone remembers Mad Max vaguely and it's like, oh, I like that thing. And they're going to capitalize on that fond nostalgia and just take the shit that they like, put whoever they want in it, and then make very few references to the original film. Because they've got a way bigger budget and can do whatever the fuck they want. Yeah,
well, certainly from the trailer, it looks absolutely ridiculously mad.
Oh,
God. It doesn't say.
Well, we'll have to see it to find out, I guess.
Yeah. I wonder where...
Well, we're going to see it, so fuck it.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see it. I'm excited about this movie.
Yeah. Okay. Right, we'll leave it there then. I think that's everything from Mike, Mark, Steve and Shaun. Stay classy.